The medium said my husband's name before anyone in that room had spoken it aloud. It was November 1923. The Hotel Langham in London had already earned its reputation. Suicides on the fourth floor, a German prince found cold in his bath, soldiers who wandered the corridors long after the war had taken them. It was the kind of place that felt inhabited in a way that had nothing to do with guests. Margaret Holt had booked the corner suite on the third floor. She had been a widow for 11 months. Her husband, Edmund, had drowned off the coast of Cornwall in what the inquest called a tragic accident. She had never believed that word. Tragic, yes. Accident, no. She had hired the medium through a quiet referral, a woman named Iris Vane, who wore no theatrical costume and carried no props. She arrived with only a small leather case and sat at the round table near the window without ceremony. There were 4 others present: Margaret herself, her sister Clara, a solicitor named Pemberton who had handled Edmund's estate, and a journalist from the Illustrated London News who had promised discretion and almost certainly lied. Iris Vane closed her eyes before anyone had introduced themselves. The gas lamps had been lowered. Outside, the November fog pressed flat against the glass like something listening. Then Iris said the name, Edmund Arthur Holt. She said it the way you say a name when the person is standing directly behind you. Margaret went still. What followed lasted 40 minutes, though no one in that room could have told you that afterward. They would each remember it differently. Pemberton would later say the temperature dropped so severely that his breath became visible. Clara would insist that the mirror above the fireplace showed a reflection that did not match anyone seated at the table. The journalist wrote nothing. He never wrote anything again, as a matter of record. He resigned from the paper the following week and moved to the countryside, and no one who knew him could explain why. What Iris Vane said during those 40 minutes has never been fully disclosed. Margaret Holt sealed the medium's transcript with her solicitor and left instructions that it not be opened until 50 years after her death. She outlived Edmund by 43 years, dying quietly in 1966. The transcript, if it exists at all, has never surfaced. But there is one detail that did escape the room. Margaret's sister Clara told it once to a single person in her final illness, and that person wrote it down. Iris Vane had described in precise detail the exact location of a letter hidden inside the lining of Edmund's traveling coat, which had been recovered from the sea and stored in a trunk that no one had opened since his death. When Margaret went home that night and cut open the lining, she found it. She read it. She burned it immediately. She never spoke Edmund's name again for the rest of her life. We don't know what was in the letter. We don't know how Iris Vane knew where it was. We don't know what Margaret read in those few seconds before the flames took it. We only know that she stopped grieving that night. And she never once looked like a woman who had found peace.